go. The lights are on me now. Hey, I'm Pastor Whalen, the youth pastor here at New Life Church. If you don't know that, now you do. Today is Youth Sunday, so you've seen some youth up on stage. You might have seen them out in the connections area or a greeting or something. In a second, I'm going to have the youth speaking here in a second. So it is such a valuable time for us. For me, it's one of my favorite Sundays, Youth Sunday, being able to minister to you guys. One of the things I say to the students quite often is that you are the church of today. Because oftentimes students are like, well, when I get older, I'll be able to minister. Or when I'll mature more, I'll be able to speak well. Or when down the road, I'll be able to do that. Or I can pray for people when I'm a little bit older. And I'm like, no. You're the church of tomorrow, yes, but you're also the church of today. And so empowering our students to be able to do ministry, to be able to speak truth, to be able to share Jesus is incredibly powerful. So today, I'm not going to ramble on forever. I'll come back later, and you guys will unfortunately get to hear me speak again. But I'm going to welcome some students up to the stage. You guys give them a round of applause. They come up on the stage. Come on up here. They're just going to take a time. I asked them to share like a scripture and a testimony or something, some truth to share with you guys today. So they're just going to take a time. You guys come all the way to the center. It's all the way, come here, all the way to the center. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to hand the mic off. Here you go.
Hello, how are you guys doing today? So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael. I have been going to New Life for about 5 or 6 years, and I have been a part of an amazing church family for that long. I have loved it here. I've made many friends, and it's just a very welcoming community. So, thank you for welcoming me into your family. And as I'm sure most of you guys know, Jesus had a family too. His father Joseph and his mother Mary. And I'm sure that all of you have heard of the miracles that he's performed, such as changing water into wine and healing many people. But one thing that I feel many people forget is that Jesus was a human. He was a human. He had human parts, human mind, and loving parents, all things that we as humans have. And that is something that most people tend to forget. But there are many times in the Bible that support that. A great example of this may or may not be what you'd think. It's not the longest verse in the Bible. It's not that close to a super powerful verse. But to some people, it may make them think that Jesus is a lot better than what they've already heard. The verse is found in the book of John, chapter 11, verse 35, and it says, Jesus wept. Now, you may be thinking, wow, Jesus cried. What could be so significant about that? But that's just it. That is the significant part about it. Jesus, being one of the most powerful people in the world, who made so many miracles happen, who healed so many people, cried. The lesson that could be learned from that verse is that no matter who you are, no matter if you're the richest actor in all of Hollywood, if you're homeless, if you work at Walmart, we're all humans. Nothing more, nothing less. And I think it's time that we just start acting like humans. Because every day I just go on YouTube and I'll be scrolling through YouTube Shorts and I'll see videos that some people may think is funny. But then you go into the comments section, which is one of my least favorite parts of any social media platform. And you may see a comment that says something like, wow, imagine only being good at punching air. Because back in like 2020 and years like that, there were a bunch of TikTok dances that were around. And when you see something like that, you may not think something at first. Like you may think, oh, wow, that was not that nice. But that could hurt the person who took the time to do that dance, to learn that, and it just hurt their feelings. Recently, a lot of things have happened to me, and I don't really want to go into that much detail about what happened, but I just felt very alone through all of it, and I just felt as if no one cared that much about me, and it just felt as if God wasn't there with me. But then a couple of days ago, it hit me that God was the person who gave us those emotions that we feel. He's the person who gave us the feelings that we have for people, the feelings that we hold and cherish for others. And that made me think, of all the miracles God has performed, is the one that most people forget emotion? I believe the answer to that is a yes. Because even if we don't like the answer, emotion is what makes us human. When we let our emotions come out, it's a lot more healthy than just bottling up your feelings. Because when you bottle up your emotions, the emotions you're bottling up are only going to become stronger, and they're going to make you more angry about a lot of things. And I have seen it happen firsthand. It was not a good sight at all. The anger you have from those feelings will only increase. So don't bottle up your feelings. One thing I will always believe is that the best humans in the world are the ones who embrace their feelings and don't let anything stop them from embracing them. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Good. All right. So, my topic today is life. But whenever I speak, I don't really have a topic. I just go off topic. But you understand, all right. So, the verse is Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. All right, so here's a little backstory. On Thursday, I went to go to work, and my boss is Jerry Weaver. I've been working with him for 2 years, and spending 20 hours a week, you really get to know the guy. You know, I love him. He was a great guy, and we always crack jokes and everything. He was always late though to pick me up, but I still love him. So I got dropped off, and I said, "All right, see you Monday, man. See you. Have a good week. Have fun." And that night, I'm like, "Shoot, I forgot I have to talk on Sunday, darn it." So I was like, what should I talk about it? So I was just sleeping on it. I'm like, oh, I'll talk about life. So I had this whole plan. I was like, oh yeah, I can talk about losing my brother to suicide 5 years ago. I can bring up all my story, all of my pain and all the stuff, how I went through it and everything. And that's what I planned on doing. I wrote it all down, and I was ready to do it. The next day, as you all know, Jerry Weaver and his wife, Tara, passed away in a car accident. And it really devastated me. And I was really in a low phase. And I didn't know what to talk about. I'm like, they both just died. Why would I talk about life? You know? Why would I talk about life? So, God told me to keep talking about life. So, that's what I'm doing. Anyway. So, pretty much, after this whole incident, I think we're all more aware of how short life actually is. And we don't realize how short it can be. And I've witnessed it firsthand from losing my brother. So I've got that mentality that each day could be your last day, and you need to be kind to everyone, and you need to love people. But now, with them two passing away, I feel it even more, that I want to live each day, and I hope you guys do the same, each day like it's your last. So, how do we do that? We need to use our creative gifts. I'm sorry, everyone's creative. I suck at art, yes, but I can do music and I can somewhat do other stuff, right? But everyone is creative, right? Everyone's creative. I'm sorry, you're creative. Sorry, God created you to be creative. So, thank you. I'm not done yet, but okay, all right. That's actually good though, because I was just processing what I want to say next. So, God created you to be creative, right? So, we need to all be creative each day and do something that makes an impact. So when you pass away, your legacy lives on, right? Tara did that with her children's thing. She was amazing at it. Jerry did that with his FDA job. He taught me so many things. And sorry, this is my second half right here. Anyway, so this is God right here, right? God created a canvas. This is your life. Pretend this is canvas right here. All right. So God created a canvas. And artists, when they create something, most time, a certain structure or whatever, they first draw the outline, right? Just the weird, nasty, alien-looking thing. I don't get it. But they draw it out, and you're like, what is this? What is this? And that's what our lives are like. Our lives are what is this? Why am I just a weird sketch outline thingy? What? Why am I not a beautiful painting like everyone else? Why am I just an outline, right? And you might not be able to see that outline until you go to heaven, and you'll see the whole entire canvas being painted of your life, and how many people you affected from the canvas of life, right? So, pretty much, after that point, it just laid in my heart that we need to live each day like it's our last, because it could be our last, but also to remember to spread love and spread peace, and to use our gifts to the fullest, right? Don't just be scrolling on TikTok. I know, I'm on TikTok too. But use your gifts to do stuff. Like, it could be the smallest thing. So there you go. Amen.
Hello, everyone. How are you all today? So I have a lot of verses. I was thinking about it, and I was praying about it, and I opened my Bible app, and I went to the highlighted verses section. And I found quite a few verses I had highlighted on wisdom, because I'd been struggling with school a lot, and I was considering dropping out. But then people kept telling me that that's not the best idea, because that may not be what God's plan for me was. And it wasn't, and so I'm still in school. But the first verses I had highlighted were in Job chapter 28. It says, "But where can wisdom be found? Where does understanding dwell? No mortal comprehends its worth. It cannot be found in the land of the living. Where then does wisdom come from? Where does understanding dwell? It is hidden from the eyes of every living thing, concealed even from the birds in the sky. God understands the way to it, and he alone knows where it dwells, for he views the ends of the earth and sees everything under the heavens. Then he looked at wisdom and appraised it. He confirmed it and tested it. And he said to the human race, 'The fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to shun evil is understanding.'" And it has that phrase in the Bible a lot, to fear the Lord. And it doesn't mean that we're to be afraid of him. It means that we're supposed to respect him. Because why would we be afraid of the being that created us, that loves us? We should respect him and love him. And in the Bible, multiple times, it tells us that we are supposed to seek wisdom. And right here in these verses, it says that it is hidden from the eyes of every living being. So how are we supposed to find it? We can't. But we are to turn to God in all situations and look to him for wisdom. Because while we can't find it, he can give it to us. And we cannot understand things unless we deny evil. And in today's world, everyone is confused a lot of the times. People forget to ignore the lies of the devil and focus on God. Because if we focus on avoiding sin, it may lead us to sin more. It's like if you're walking with a really full cup of coffee and you're trying not to spill it, but you focus on it, you miss looking at your surroundings and you might bump into something and spill it. So if you focus on trying not to make mistakes, you're going to make more. But if we focus on God, he will lead us away from sin. And we can seek wisdom from him, and he'll help us with that. And one of my favorite places to go for wisdom in the Bible is in Proverbs. And here I have Proverbs chapter 14. I have some verses from it. It says, "The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears it down. The mocker seeks wisdom and finds none, but knowledge comes easily to the discerning. Stay away from the fool, for you will not find knowledge on their lips. The faithless will be fully repaid for their ways, and the good rewarded for theirs. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Whoever fears the Lord has a secure fortress, and for their children it will be a refuge." And there's that phrase again. It says, fearing the Lord. And it still means that we're to respect him, because if we respect the Lord, he will give us a secure place. He will keep us safe, and he will keep our children safe. And it says that we're not only to speak of our plans, because mere talk leads only to poverty. But with hard work, we will be rewarded. And the Sanchez's are doing that with their church planting. Instead of just thinking about it and hearing God tell them to do that, they're doing that. They're making a plan, and they're having people help them. And so that's going to be rewarded. And being faithful, wise, and good are very important in a relationship with God. Without any of these, we'll have a hard time being led away from sin, away from temptation, and away from evil. As long as we seek God and focus on our relationship with him, we have no reason to worry. We have nothing to fear. And as Christians a lot, people think that because we're Christians, then we must not feel any temptation. We must not have any troubles with sin. But the opposite of that is true. Because the devil knows we know the truth of God, he is going to come at us harder than anyone else. We will still feel the temptation and pain, but we will never have to face it alone, because God is always there.